A permanent account number, also known as PAN, is a mandatory document needed to live and work in India. The Indian Income Tax Department issues this permanent account number, which is a 10-character alphanumeric identifier, to every person who applies for it. The card is unique, and the Indian Income Tax Department reviews all information about the card, on behalf of the Central Board for Direct Taxes. The PAN card is also an important addition to the other identification documents used by Indian citizens. For example, in order to end up in the right income tax table in India, you'll need the monitored PAN card. The purpose of PAN is to provide identification of all financial transactions, and to prevent tax evasion, by keeping track of monetary transactions, especially of individuals who have high income or large fortunes, and therefore more easily could influence the economy. Which the government, of course, wants to avoid. It is mandatory in India to provide one's PAN number when filing income returns, tax deductions, or in any other communication regarding the Income Tax Department. It has also recently become a mandatory document for opening new bank accounts, mobile phone connection, purchase of foreign currency, bank deposits, purchase, and selling or buying property and vehicles. It is so far optional though to apply for and obtain a PAN, but it is a mandatory document needed to be able to even live in India. Therefore, indirectly, it is forced on you. Currently, there are many people in the country who are critical of the system, and believe that the PAN card is a violation of privacy, as you have to provide all information to the authorities in order to have a legal income in India. If you are not a citizen of India, but want to invest or do business in the country, you also need to apply for a PAN card, which then also can be used to get a valid visa. You also need a PAN card to be able to submit an income tax return. The Government of India has introduced an online service to verify and renew one's PAN number. This is an excellent way for the government, politicians, bankers, and other institutes and authorities to get access to all available data of the Indian citizens. Failure to comply with the provisions of the Income Tax Act regarding the PAN card will result in a penalty. For foreign nationals who want to do business in India, the same tracking applies as for an Indian citizen when applying for the PAN card. Evidence and documents regarding one's identity and account statements must be submitted to the Indian authorities before one has the opportunity to be approved and can obtain a PAN card. Although there are only 58 million income taxpayers in India, there were 445 million genuine PAN cards issued in India as of March 2019. Even though it is illegal for individuals and companies to have multiple PAN cards available at the same time, one can somehow get through and around the system. However, high penalties are carried out if the state finds out, and large fines are then being issued. There are also many fake PAN cards on the market, as counterfeiters can easily create their own PAN cards, using plastic card printers, and the PAN card agents' own online services. Up until now, you can get it in a laminated card or get it digitally in the form of a PDF file, but the Indian authorities hopes that the new upgrade online will help reduce the fake cards. There is also another card needed to even be able to live and work in India, which is the Aadhaar card. While the PAN card is needed for any type of tax-related, or income-related issue and financial activity, both individually and for companies, and to make sure that the cardholder is a law-abiding Indian taxpayer, the Aadhaar card on the other hand, is used for establishing the identity of the cardholder. Therefore, the card is only issued to residents of India, and maps a person's life, so that one get access to the government's subsidized services, such as food, water, electricity, fuel, and gas. In addition to all the personal data collected through the Aadhaar card, it is also required for the cardholder to provide biometric information to the system via this tool. Biometric information are body measurements and calculations related to human characteristics. Biometric authentication, also called realistic authentication, is used in computer science as a form of identification and access control. It is also used to identify individuals in groups that are under surveillance. Biometric identifiers are the distinctive, measurable characteristics used to label and describe individuals. Biometric identifiers are often categorized as physiological characteristics, which are related to the shape of the body. Examples include fingerprint and palm print, face recognition, iris recognition, and DNA. So, to wrap it up, both PAN and Aadhaar cards are vital documents that you must have a digital copy of on your smartphone if you live and work in India. The government's goal is to link every resident in the country to a PAN and an Aadhaar card within the nearest future, saying it is to help improve the lives of the Indian citizens, and make the everyday life run smoothly and easier. Someone who is a big fan and admirer of the Aadhaar experiment is, of course, Bill Gates. Gates is also personally connected to Aadhaar's chief architect, and is also connected to one of the key companies that spearheaded the technology behind the project's biometric database. The company that provides the iris recognition technology at the heart of the Aadhaar system, called IDEMIA, also provides systems for the Chinese government, and is currently developing digital driver's licenses for use in the United States. Bill Gates is now also funding a project to redesign Aadhaar and set it ready for a global launch. In 2014, the World Bank created a cross-sector working group to launch the Identification for Development Initiative, or ID4D, which it is also called, that aims to, quote, support progress towards identification systems using 21st-century solutions. The World Bank cites Target 16.9 of the UN's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which pledges to, quote, provide legal identity for all, including birth registration over the next 10 years, as the basis for its initiative. But ID4D was little more than a pipe dream until 2016, when the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation made catalytic grants to start the ID4D Multi-Donor Trust Fund, which attracted the British, French and Australian governments, along with the Omidyar Network, to a partnership that aims to, quote, shape global approaches and a shared vision of identification. Unsurprisingly, Gates' partner and chief architect of Aadhaar, Nander Nilekani, is on the World Bank's ID4D initiative on its advisory board, and Gates has said that he is funding the World Bank to, quote, bring the Aadhaar strategy to other countries. Researching and deep diving into things like these is a must for anyone who is interested in knowing what the future might hold, and how we as humans best can prepare and balance ourselves to what will probably be inevitable.